Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, councils. I'm Michael Christensen. And first, I apologize. I have 6 minutes of material for you. So if you stop me at 5 minutes, I'm going to beg for more. I have served a year as the president of the Sioux Empire Bicycle Club. I have served a term on the first board of the Falls Area Bicyclists. I helped found and continue to serve on the board of the Falls Area Single Track, the group that brought you dirt trails to Leaders Park. I helped found and continue to serve on the board of the South Dakota Bicycle Coalition. I am in my 4th or 5th year as a member of CCOG's MPO Citizens Advisory Committee. You members of the Urbanized Development Commission may remember this winter viewing a video of mine describing how to safely navigate West 12th Street and Interstate 29 interchange on a bicycle. Most importantly, I'm certified by the League of American Bicyclists to teach their smart cycling curriculum. Mayor, a few years ago, I was the League of American Bicyclists representative that handed your predecessor the Sioux Falls Bronze Level Bicycle Friendly Community Award. Let me summarize the 3 most important existing laws related to operating bicycles on the roadway. First, the definition of vehicle includes bicycle. In 1994, the South Dakota Supreme Court adjudicated a case between 2 Sioux Falls cyclists that had collided head-on in the middle of Tomar Road. An important part of the case was whether that law requires 2 vehicles to yield half the part. In 1994, the South Dakota Supreme Court adjudicated a case between 2 Sioux Falls cyclists that had collided head-on in the middle of Tomar Road. An important part of the case was whether the law that requires 2 vehicles to yield half the roadway to each other when traveling in opposite directions applies to bicycles. The court unanimously agreed that according to South Dakota law, bicycles are considered vehicles, therefore the law applied. This is current law. Bicycles are vehicles in South Dakota. Therefore, every law that describes how one vehicle should respond to another in the roadway also describes how drivers of motorized vehicles should respond to those of us on bicycles. A second existing law gives every person driving a bicycle all of the rights and duties of any driver of any other vehicle. You may have heard people suggest that bicycles don't belong on roadways. This suggestion is birthed in ignorance of current law. The third law is so long and painful to read that most people think it says bicycles must be ridden as far to the right as possible. It doesn't say that. It really says that bicycles are to be ridden as far to the right as practicable, except when overtaking another vehicle, preparing for a left turn, avoiding objects, vehicles, bicycles, pedestrians, animals, hazards, and when the lane is too narrow to safely share with another bicycle. Let me repeat that. I should ride as far to the right as practicable, except when the lane is too narrow to safely share. The most common lane widths in Sioux Falls are 10 and 12 feet. You can do simple math to determine when a lane is too narrow to safely share. Cars are 7 to 8 feet wide, a rider is 2 to 3 feet wide. Throw in some space for safety buffer, and you can really see that most lanes in the city are measurably too narrow to safely share. A few weeks ago, Roger Elgersma stood here in front of you and said, "There are certain times I pull out into the middle of the lane just so that I'm safe from people accidentally hitting me." Roger is fully legal and fully correct that this is often the safest way to ride. You may have heard drivers say, "The bicycle came out of nowhere. I almost or did hit him." Nowhere exists. It is every place that a driver either can't see or doesn't look. You never hear anybody say, "The bicycle came out of somewhere. I almost hit him." Somewhere is a place a driver can see and is looking, usually in the driving lane. Sometimes it's the face of a cell phone. Any frustration you've heard about bicycles taking up the whole lane, making it impossible to pass, comes from ignorance of this law. There are lanes in the city that are too narrow for a bicycle to safely share with a motor vehicle. In those lanes, it is acceptable, even imperative, for a bicyclist to move left and ride in the whole lane. These 3 laws are the existing reality of what is provided to bicycle riders on the roadway. Far too few people know this, and even fewer understand it. Your planning department and the bicycle committee wants to revise some of these laws. I've reviewed all of them, and I support all of the changes. I ask that you read them into law tonight. You should read into law that a bicycle may use the full lane as an indication to drivers that the lane is not wide enough to safely share. You're not changing what already exists in law. You're just stating clearly to a reader that there is good reason for a rider to make full use of the lane. You should read into law that an overtaking vehicle must give 3 feet to the side of an overtaken bicycle. Do this to help protect your bicycle riding citizens, but also do it to put drivers at ease. A semi-truck driver wrote in the Argus Leader that currently he squeezes his truck between the rider and the lane line and hopes nothing bad happens to the rider. This law will make it clear to drivers that this passing behavior is inappropriate. Finally, you should read into law that bicycles may ride 2 abreast unless a vehicle is approaching from behind. We're social beings. Let us talk. Let us communicate. I have with me a 90-second news report from Pettigrew Heights that shows your bicycle riding police officers don't follow this law as it's currently written. The video also shows them riding through a stop sign, so if you need someone to train them, I know a guy. Thanks for the time you've put into learning about bicycling in Sioux Falls. Please accept all of these revisions and read them into law today. Thank you for the extra time.
Michael, good job. Thank you.